Greetings and welcome to another impressions video here at Words About Games, and today we're going to be looking at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a third-person action game and probably the only worthwhile thing EA has done with the Star Wars license since acquiring it more than 6 years ago. You take on the role of Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan trying to lay low following the rise of the Empire and the Jedi Purge. After that doesn't quite work out, you team up with a group of misfits and set off on an adventure to try and rebuild the Jedi Order, while trying to stay one step ahead of the Inquisition, an order solely dedicated to the eradication of the surviving Jedi. While Fallen Order takes some cues from the Metroid Prime and Legend of Zelda franchises, it's the amount of inspiration that Respawn has found in From Software's Dark Souls that caught me off guard when I started digging into the game for the first time. That's not to say they've created a Souls-like, not at all, but lessons have clearly been learned from the design of Miyazaki's legendary RPG series that have carried over. It might seem reductive of me to immediately compare Fallen Order to three seminal game franchises, but I mean it as a compliment. Respawn have drawn inspiration from the best and blended it together with their own ideas and the Star Wars universe to create a pretty excellent adventure. The various worlds you'll visit feel amazing to explore. Part of this is down to how authentic a Star Wars experience Fallen Order is. There's a mix of old and new here, and whether you're visiting the familiar world of Kashyyyk or the wholly new Zephyr, the care and attention to detail that Respawn have put into faithfully crafting the experience is second to none. It really does feel like stepping into the world of Star Wars thanks to some impressive sound and graphical design. Exploring these worlds is a joy as well thanks to how well designed each one is. Every world you visit is sprawling and intricately designed, hiding secrets around every turn. Most times you'll find a chest with some sort of cosmetic, but every now and then you'll find an optional boss fight, or an upgrade for your health, force, or an extra healing stim. The highlight of exploration, however, are the Force echoes. Cal's connection to the Force allows him to sense the history of certain environmental objects, which can lead to uncovering small storylines or a deeper understanding of the world you're standing on. While I was never particularly bothered with finding a new skin for BD1 or a new part for my lightsaber, I still explored every nook and cranny I could. The environments themselves beg to be explored, and they're far bigger and deeper than you would imagine from sticking to the Golden Path. The creepy Shadowlands is a highlight, a dense forested area of Kashyyyk where the plants are probably more dangerous than the stormtroopers. But truth be told, everywhere is fun to explore, whether you're wandering the red hellscape of Dathomir or plumbing the depths of a hidden Empire base on Zephyr. In the beginning of the game, Cal's connection to the Force is damaged. As he continues his journey, he'll slowly start to regain his connection with the Force, and you'll unlock all the powers you'd expect a Jedi to have, which gives you new ways to explore these worlds, and it can be fun to revisit places you've already been to tease out a few new secrets. My only complaint is the lack of fast travel between the various meditation circles, which can make getting back to some areas a pain. Force powers aren't just for exploration, though. You can also use them to battle your way across the galaxy. They're well integrated into combat and always useful, whether you're pulling smaller enemies towards you or slowing them down to open them up for an attack. Combat in Fallen Order is built around timing and learning enemy attack patterns. Each enemy in the game has their own fighting style, and you need to adapt to it on the fly, wearing down their block meter before being able to deal damage to their health bar. Or you can dodge around them entirely when they attack to take advantage of openings, or utilize your Force powers to create those openings yourself. It's an incredibly thoughtfully designed system, and these robust options make combat feel incredibly dynamic, favouring patience and defensive fighting over mindlessly mashing the attack button, which is a shortcut to death. It's always satisfying to engage enemies, whether you're grappling with large alien creatures, deflecting blaster bolts back at squads of stormtroopers, or engaging in epic lightsaber duels with the Inquisition sisters. In short, the lightsaber feels suitably amazing to use at all times. Fallen Order's narrative is both a worthy addition to Star Wars canon and a fantastic story in its own right. It doesn't shy away from darkness, which is appropriate given this is set just a few years after Order 66. Its main characters, Cal and Cere, both struggle with the trauma and survivor's guilt of the destruction of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire and what they had to do to survive. This is embodied all throughout the excellent characters you meet along the way, and Fallen Order has a huge amount of heart and humanity in its narrative. Even the villains are properly fleshed out, especially the second sister, your primary antagonist throughout the game. There are still jokes and humour, particularly from Ship Captain Grease, and the incidental dialogue you can overhear between stormtroopers, who give a laundry list of reasons for their terrible aim, with everything from a migraine to smudged visors offered as excuses. And the adorable BD-1 is sure to be everyone's new favourite video game companion. As fantastic a game as this is, it's unfortunately not without its technical issues. Fallen Order suffers from a few glitches, the most noticeable being an issue with asset loading. Texture and object popping is frequent, and the game occasionally freezes completely while loading into a new area. The frame rate can also chug in more densely packed environments. Enemies can also end up being frozen in place. They only notice this a couple of times, once during an early boss fight. These issues aren't showstoppers, however, and while frustrating in the moment, you'll quickly forget about them as you go about exploring a planet or during the next exciting encounter. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is the answer to the prayers of Star Wars fans everywhere who have been starved of a great, story-focused game in the series. It tells a gripping story filled with fascinating, deep characters on the backdrop of an authentic, excellently designed world. It also fulfills the promise of satisfying lightsaber combat. It's not a power fantasy, but the fighting feels dynamic and fluid thanks to a well-crafted, thoughtful set of combat mechanics. It's the full package, minor technical hiccups aside, and an easy recommendation to any fans of Star Wars or slick action games in general. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a comment, like, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got tons of awesome videos coming every week, including review impressions, indie game of the week, debate-driven top 5 lists, video essays, and our weekly podcast where we discuss games, gaming culture, and the games industry. We also stream 3 times a week at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. But most importantly, have a fantastic day.